My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
There's one thing you know about me. I've always been open, honest, and transparent on how things lie in the Battlefield franchise, whether it's weapon feedback, a game in general, like Battlefield 2042, which caused me to walk away from the franchise for multiple years. I've always done that. And that's why I'm screaming at the top of my blown out lungs right now because my voice is broke and I've got the man flu that, hey, that alarm is going off. I played 1 hour of Battlefield 2042 and I told everybody and their brother, because I've been focused on streaming for years now because of the contracts that I've signed, that this is not good. This game is a disaster waiting to happen. This game will be a mess at launch. I was told by countless YouTubers that I was wrong. The game would be fixed, the majority of it anyway. And of course, it would launch in a good to great state and might be one of the best Battlefield ever. Kudos to who could figure out what that YouTuber was. And then it launched, and it was absolutely abysmal. 80 to 90% of the problems that plagued that game in beta, the bugs, the crippling issues, showed up at launch. So here we are. We're promised that Battlefield 6 is going back to the core Battlefield experience. The BF4, BF3, Bad Company 2, maybe the dark, gritty atmosphere and ambiance. The screaming, the haunting screams of Battlefield 1. Should be a home run, right? DICE just has to pick any of those features that have been successful in those Battlefields. They can really mix it up, roll the dice. But no, they got to reinvent the wheel. Today, they announced that there will be no class-locked weapons. There still is yet a mention of high level of server customization and, of course, a server browser. And on top of that, they are messing with what classes can and can't do. Battlefield used to be in multiple titles a paper, rock, scissor situation with hard class rolls, whether it was 4 classes like a game like Bad Company 2 or 7 classes with a game like Battlefield 2, or whether medic and support were 1 or 2 classes like Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, and of course the hybrid of what things came with those classes of support and medic in multiple Battlefield titles. Right now, medic and support would be 1 class. Battlefield 6 would be the 3rd game that would happen to. Now, I'm not upset about that because they've made that work in each and every game. They've done that where they combine medic and support. What I am upset about is getting rid of hard class definitions, the abilities, the gadgets, and of course, the weapon locks. Where's the rock, paper, scissors? Where's the risk and reward aspect? That is one of the integral pieces of Battlefield. Having to work with your squad, fulfill certain roles, or as my favorite, I'm the last guy or gal alive in my squad, I'm going to hold spawn back. I'm going to tell people to spawn as engineer. We're going to pop that tank's ass looking at me, and we're going to push the point. Now I'm going to do my job to revive and keep your bodies hot and fresh because you guys don't have medium longish range gun like I do. I'm going to fill that role. You're going to be good at medium, not so great at close. You can give something up, but the teamwork of it should allow us to push through. Hell, maybe we got a recon with some Pokeballs in their pocket, and they can throw that out in the flag, and maybe one of the people spawn in as support. I don't know for 4 classes or 5 classes, Battlefield's done both, but you usually can fill out a squad. People use their VoIP. They make it work. Teamwork is one of the most beautiful aspects of the Battlefield franchise, and of course, that class balance that's required. The next thing that made Battlefield great is the sense of community. Games like Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 allows you to have high-level custom servers, including scripts that would keep track of when you killed people with certain weapons. You'd get points or more points. When you died to a terrible gun, you'd lose more points. There was leaderboards, there was competitions, there's all kinds of craziness, including if you wanted like a non-explosive server. Metro Meat Grinder, 2,000 tickets. Somebody throws a grenade, gets a kill, you get kicked. They come back, they shoot an RPG off, they get a kill, they get banned. How about instant vehicle spawns? How about 3,000 tickets? How about slower vehicle spawns? Really penalize those guys and gals who didn't know how to handle the steel, and you can really box a team in. No matter what your flavor of Battlefield, such as pistol only, there was something for you, for that play style, that itch you need scratched. And some of the coolest people I met in the Battlefield franchise are thanks to community servers. Seeing the same guys and gals in these servers once or twice a week or month. You knew you could join this guy's squad, or you get them in your squad, and you knew, hey, I got a guy or gal using VoIP. I got a dedicated support player. I got ammo. I can play assault. I can make sure revived. I can make sure I'm the last man standing so we can spawn back on their gimme and flag cap then and cause the all cap to be rotated. Do you know how many comebacks I've had in the Battlefield franchise because I had 2 or 3 kick-ass teammates that I met in community servers? Countless. One of my favorite things to do is get 3 or 4 people, depending on the Battlefield game and how many could be in your squad, PTFO, flank, and do the impossible. Community servers gave you that. If you're looking for vanilla servers, that would never go away. Those will always be here. But we need that high-level customization, just like Bad Company 2, BF3, BF4, and we need server browsers. If it's a bastardized or watered-down version of that, that will absolutely be a major failure point and cause for loss of longevity, and of course will rock the player base over time. Before we get into the changes, the internet has been losing their mind. Made a couple posts on Reddit trying to remind people of what was in multiple Battlefield titles and what they've done differently. And my God, the absolute lies and misinformation that I've seen, including our boy Lazarus saying classes weren't weapon locked to Battlefield 4. Made a joke that you were running around with an M16 and AEK as a bushwookie, right? He then has the audacity to state that the M4 and MTAR were incredibly similar to those guns. Hate to tell you there, Lazarus, but if anybody was halfway proficient with a high skill ceiling and gap with the AEK and M16, if you're at medium long range and they had spray control down with the proper bursting and pausing with movement, they would melt your face off. You wouldn't even get a bullet into them at multiple ranges. Then, of course, not to be undone, one of the Battlefield Reddit mods decides to pop up after I informed and corrected a few people of how multiple Battlefield titles worked, and oh boy, did he get his jimmies rustled. Well, to tell you, Ron Pewter, the views never disappeared. They just went to the streaming platforms where I'm currently paid and have paid multiple 6-figure deals for 10 plus years going back, and we just signed another 6-figure deal that we're getting ready to announce in the next week or so. But I'm not quite done building the crazy IRL rig with 3 cameras, AI tracking, and it all runs off of DC power on our boat up to speeds of 100 miles an hour. Can't wait to show you guys that in a couple weeks as the weather clears up on the shores of Lake Erie. So how about we get into this? This is on the Battlefield Twitter, which I will link down below, and we're gonna give some remarks as we go. Today, we're excited to start outlining our future vision for the class system in Battlefield. The gameplay mechanics of classes and aspects that players have enjoyed most have evolved throughout the history of Battlefield franchise. Our goal within Battlefield Labs is to test and refine the best aspects of the class system from our history and evolve them into a cohesive vision for the future. As we begin testing these class-defining systems, we invite you to either play, test, or read along with what's to come for classes in Battlefield. Our design philosophy for classes: we envision the future of Battlefield classes to be a series of interconnected systems and fundamentals that shape your role on the field while granting you the freedom to customize how you execute that role. Through Battlefield Labs play sessions, feedback, and data gathering, we aim to strike a balance between defined roles and player choice. The class system is defined by 2 main components: customizable and class-defining. The customizable components empower players to explore and push the boundaries of their roles within their chosen class while also still adhering to the expectations of the class. The class-defining components are designed to enhance pick-up-and-go playability and reinforce the expectations of your class identity. Customizable weapon loadouts. Fully customizable weapon loadouts allow you the freedom to play the way you want. Play the strengths of your class by using your signature weapons or easily switch to any other weapon to meet the needs of your squad. Recons with M16s and AKs, anybody? Class gadgets. You'll have the option to carry 2 gadgets on the battlefield tailored to each class in its specific role. Recon aficionados specialize in intelligence and counterintelligence, with class gadgets including deploy beacons, anti-personnel, mines, and laser designators. Training. Our philosophy with training is to offer a series of traits that can be unlocked during play to enhance your ability to perform your role. As you engage more in a match, you'll gradually earn flat stat bonuses and more to support the effectiveness of your role further. Throwables. Our approach to throwables prioritize enabling each class to effectively fulfill its role by providing tailored throwables. Here's a question. Grenade spam and throwable spam has been a problem in multiple Battlefield titles. What's the chance it's a problem again? Signature weapon. Each class has a signature weapon category tied to their class identity, which when used enhances their role in the battlefield. For example, using our same ongoing test subject, the recon class, if you select a weapon for the sniper rifle category, you'll benefit from increased breath holding duration. In contrast, an assault player choosing for the same category will not receive this bonus. DMRs, carbines, and shotguns remain viable options no matter your class, but don't benefit from any signature weapon bonus. Signature trait. Each class features a unique signature trait providing passive bonuses tailored to optimize your role in the battlefield. For instance, a recon player automatically spots enemies while aiming down sights, encouraging the use of weapons that complement this specialization. Signature gadget. These gadgets are unique and singular to each class, with an aim for you to always have access to a tool that fulfills the role of that class, separate from what you may choose as gadgets within your loadout. Default weapon packages. The default weapon package is a preset combination of attachments and visual customization for each class to be combat ready, with the option for further progression and personalization. What's next? The class system and individual components will be available for testing within the Battlefield labs in the coming weeks. They want feedback. That's it. They are blurring the lines of what you can and can't do in the Battlefield franchise. And remember, take this part with a grain of salt. It is rumored there is a perk that allows you to carry 2 primaries. I am not a fan of this system, but like everything, I'm going to do my due diligence when I get in beta and try it out. But a lot of this has me worried, especially with these flat upgrades and perks. Is this going to be something like Ability Legends, where power creep of Apex Legends comes into play, where depending on your perks and your flat stat upgrades, it becomes just a little bit too much? Does that put too much RNG in the game? What happened to the simplicity of me versus you? Heads up, guns up, my flag, your flag. Why do we need all this extra stuff? I'm not saying to hate it out the gate. I'm saying with all of this, now is a major time for concern, because if this gets absolute terrible feedback and doesn't come out of the game, what else is Battlefield going to be adamant about forcing down our throat, which is the defining problem of what 2042 was and is. They want to take everything in a new direction, reinvent the wheel, fuck with classes and buildings, and they absolutely killed the franchise. Thanks for hanging out and watching. Again, if you want the link to the Twitter brief, I'll put that down below. And I look forward to seeing y'all in the next Battlefield video.